everyone, welcome back. I have a brand new first impressions to do with you today, and it's about a new beauty brand that I've never heard of. And I came across this brand quite recently when I was back in Melbourne for a dear friend's wedding, and it is called Mina. It's spelled Mina, and I did check online and it's pronounced Mina. So it turns out to be a London-based European beauty brand, and I think it's fairly recent. I've never heard of this brand before. I've not seen any sort of reviews or these products in action, so I thought it would be great to pick up a few just to have a bit of a trial run and show you what they're like. So I've already done my base, and I'm gonna just try on the products, give you some swatches, and tell you my first impressions. Now I'm gonna just read off the phone. I read the About Me on this brand's website, and it says, play and make with our professionally formulated on-trend colors and textures as tools to create and reimagine who you want to be today. I was really impressed with the shop. So they had a standalone store in Melbourne, and it just looks really amazing. All the products, and they have a lot of products, everything from nail polishes, bases, all the way to eyeliners, and it just looks so colorful. Everything was organized according to color, and it just looked like a rainbow. It really reminded me of Inglot, except a much more clean, fresher version. So they had everything from really pigmented colors, really bright, bold colors, all the way to pastels and cream eyeshadows, shimmers, all sorts of textures. And I was really excited just to have a bit of a play around and pick up a few products. So the first things that obviously caught my eye were these eyeshadow pots, and their cream formulation, and they look really, really cool. And I also picked up a color mascara and as well as a matte lipstick. So I thought this would be like a nice introduction to the brand, and just really excited. And I just love the packaging. It's just on a white base with the color indicated on the top. Really clean, really fresh, just really beautiful packaging. Really excited about these. So I'm gonna open the eyeshadow pots, and I think that they don't have a color attributed to them. No, so they're just according to number, which again reminds me a lot about Inglot. They also don't have names attributed to their products. So the first one I got was a cream eyeshadow in 313. Now the cream eyeshadow says they are long-lasting eyeshadow for intense magnetic color for all day wear. They're waterproof and paraben free. That sounds really great. So they come in these. And again, the actual packaging of the products themselves are quite lovely. They come in these glass packaging with a matte black top with the brand logo on the very top. Just feels really sturdy, really nice, so you know that you're paying good money for it. And it says actually here that it was produced in Madrid, Spain, so that's pretty cool. I have to say the prices of these products were quite affordable. Let me see. So the cream eyeshadows are £8.95, and I'm going to talk about the other products in a second. So they sort of sit between drugstore to about mid-end, but the actual packaging makes it feel really more luxurious than it is, which is really nice. So first one, as I said, is a cream eyeshadow in 313, and the product itself looks quite moussey, if you can see. That's what it looks like. So the first one is a kind of lighter goldy bronzy color, and it just looked really, really interesting. So I'm gonna dip my finger in. And its texture is really interesting. So it's definitely a very creamy cream eyeshadow. So if you're familiar with the MAC paint pots, they're a little bit harder and more set in the eyeshadow pots. Whereas these ones are definitely, they remind me a little bit more of the Tom Ford formulation. So just really kind of moussey. So I'm just gonna dip my finger in a little bit and then just swatch. And they feel really creamy, really lovely. That is a great color, if you can just see that. There we go. So it's got a bit of a rosy tinge to it, little bit more of a bright metallic shade, so that looks really, really cool. You can see that, and it feels nice on the skin, which is kind of cool. So I'm gonna move on to the other one. Now I think the second one is a little bit more matte. So this one is in 314, and obviously went for all kind of neutral eyeshadows because I know that I'll get the most wear out of them, but I'm gonna show you the color mascara in a little bit, and that's a bit more fun to play around with. So the next color is this darker, a little bit grey tinged brown, and you can see it still has that lovely effervescence shine to it. Same formula, so it's got this moussey consistency to it. And I'm just gonna dab a little bit. Now you don't need a lot of product. I've literally just had this bit, and now I'm just gonna swatch. That's definitely more of a taupey brown, so if you can see that, I think that would look nice just all over the lid as well. See that? I'm gonna see if I can just deepen the color a little bit more, so you can have a bit of a look. That's really cool. See that? So you can definitely layer these shades on, and they layer really, really well. There's no patchiness, so and they both have pretty much just set on my hand. So, oh, that's really cool. Look, they're basically set, and if I do this, they don't budge. That's really cool. So I've got oily eyelids, and I'm always looking for cream eyeshadows which would just stay on either as a one wash color or as a primer for me to put powder eyeshadows on. So that is really, really cool. Now I'm just going to clean up, and I'll move on to the lipstick and mascara. A lot of beauty brands have recently come up with colored mascaras. It's really on trend right now, and last but not least, I think it was YSL who kind of came up with 3 or 5 new colored mascaras, and they look really cool, but obviously they are quite expensive. So I thought I'll pick up a colored mascara in purple from Mina, and this is the same price as the cream eyeshadow, so it's £8.95. It's really, really affordable, and I thought, you know, why not? Let's just try it out. And I love the fact that, again, everything is color coded. This is what it looks like. It comes in a clear, kind of thick plastic with a blue cap, and just really easy to find your makeup bag. So this is what it looks like. It's a much lighter purple than I anticipated. Let's see what the bristles look like. Just have a normal, you can see that, a normal mascara wand, and that is the product itself. So I'm quite excited to try that. I'm just going to swatch and see how the color comes out. Formula is a little bit drier than I thought it would be, so that's just the color itself. It's a much more pastel purple rather than a deep one. So I'm hoping that shows up on my eyes. I obviously have really dark eyelashes. They're basically black. So I think this might come out a little bit better if you have blonde eyelashes rather than dark ones, but I'm interested to try that out. And finally, I have a matte lipstick. So they have all sorts of lipsticks, including liquid lipsticks, shiny, vibrant ones, lip glosses, and obviously I love matte lipsticks, and I thought this would be a good one to try out. This is in the shade 401, and it looks to be a nudie rosy mauve shade. So again, I thought I'll get a lot of wear out of it. Now, unlike the other packaging, the lipsticks don't come color coded. It's just a sort of matte black casing with the logo on the front. This will make it a little bit difficult for me to find. Obviously, if you're gonna buy a lot of different lipsticks from the same brand, it kind of just reminds me of MAC, where it's so difficult to find out what shade you're wanting to pick out from your collection. But anyway, so if I open this up, oh, this is interesting. Okay, So the lipstick comes out already sort of half out of the bullet, and I can see that it's taken a little bit off just by the cap itself. Not really that happy about that. I kind of feel like lipstick should be completely in the packaging itself, and then you can sort of take it out, but it looks like you do get a lot of product, and it's an interesting shape. I'll show you if you can see it's sort of in this kind of hot diamond shape. Presumably it'll make it quite easy for you to get a really clean line, but I am disappointed that some of it has basically, I can see it, some of it has come off on the cap itself, so and a little bit has kind of come off there. So that's a bit disappointing, but the color looks really nice, and it looks really creamy as well. So if I just kind of swatch this. Now I sort of have to layer this on to get some color payoff, and it does look to be a really nice, really neutral nudie rose shade, so that looks pretty nice. There we go. And I'm a little bit afraid if I put this back in, it's just gonna, yeah, it's basically gonna kind of smudge, but that's alright. I'm just gonna leave it there for a second. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, so that is the lipstick. Now, this is a first impressions and try on. So I've shown you the swatches, and now I'm gonna actually try them on my face. So as I mentioned, I've got my base on. I'm using the Nars Sheer Glow Foundation in Syracuse, and that's just all over. And I'm gonna try, let's see. I think I might just try both of the cream eyeshadows. I'm going to try 313 all over the lid, and then 314 the darker shade, sort of just smudged in the crease to give it a bit of definition. So let's do that. I'm just going to use my hands to apply the product. I usually use my fingers anyway to apply cream eyeshadows, so might as well just keep doing what I'm doing. Now, I don't have my glasses on, so it's a little bit difficult to see, but I'm gonna try anyway. So this is 313, and I'm just gonna dab a little bit on my finger and see how this applies. So I'm just going all over the mobile lid, taking it almost quite high up and a little bit on the inner corners. Now I can feel that it's really creamy. It's quite comfortable. It feels really light, which is nice. And I don't know if you can see in the camera, but it is pretty pigmented. That's the color that I'm gonna get. So that looks really nice. I'm just gonna do the other eye as well. So taking just a little bit, I'm barely kind of dabbing into the products, and literally it's about that much. So not a lot, and obviously it's going to last you quite a long time. I'm going to do this other eye now. And I'm just going to smudge it upwards towards the eyebrow. Gonna need a little bit more for that eye, I think. Feels really weird to have such a creamy eyeshadow. That does feel really nice. I'm gonna bring it into the inner corner and then keep blending upwards. That feels really nice, really creamy, really easy to blend. And I like that just sort of to the center of the eye, so it brings a little bit of brightness. There we go. That feels really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the darker shade and try to see if I can do a little bit of definition along the crease. It's gonna be a bit difficult, I think, especially with my fingers. I'm gonna try not to apply too much. I'm feeling it's gonna go a little bit overboard, but that's good. Okay. So I'm just going to concentrate on the outer edge of the crease and then sort of wing it outwards. Again, I'm just using my fingers to apply and just kind of deepen that a little bit. And I've used the tiniest amount, so it looks quite natural, but I could see a little bit of definition right there, which is what I want. There you go. I'm gonna see if I can just deepen it a little bit more. Now, obviously you can use brushes if you prefer to. I just sort of like using my hands, my fingers, because it kind of warms up the product and I feel it kind of melts against the skin a little bit better. So I'm just gonna pat it in. There we go. So that's definitely a lot darker. There we go. I'm gonna smudge it in my crease and then bring that outwards. There we go. Now, both of the colors are quite shimmery, so you're gonna see that it highlights the lines a little bit more. So if you have, well, if you're starting to have wrinkles like I am, just kind of pat it in and then blend it out. There we go. I think that looks just really nice and natural, which is cool. You can definitely see that the brown is a little bit more cool tone, so I much prefer warmer colors, but a cool tone brown will kind of look a little bit more like it's meant to be a contour, a bit more of a shadow on your eye. So if you're trying to deepen your crease like I like to do, that's quite nice just to throw in on the outer corner. So I'm going to try to see if I can do it with the other eye and keep it almost the same. So I'm just patting it in the outer corner and then to sort of blend towards the middle upwards. And again, just following the crease, or where my crease is meant to be. And I'm kind of just winging it outwards. There we go. I'm just patting and blending with my finger as well. So I had a little bit more product on that eye, so that's about as deep as I want to have it. Yeah, that looks even, so that's how the eyes look like. I'm going to try to see if I can insert a picture of it. That's Faye. Interested. I have my Clarins compact with me, so I think she's definitely got a scent going on, so she's quite interested in that. But I think that looks pretty nice, pretty neutral. This is usually what I'll do if I'm going to work, so easy to throw on, and it just feels really, really nice, and that dried down really quickly, so I can definitely feel like it's not going to move, which is nice. So those are the eyes done. I'm gonna move on to the mascara. I can clean my fingers like that. I'm definitely having a bit of a hard time using my Bioderma and getting the product off. So they do feel like they're gonna be long lasting, which is very nice considering I have oily eyelids, so things tend to crease and tend to move around on me, particularly by the end of an 8-hour day, 10-hour day. Yeah, hours are about 8. Now I'm going to move on to the mascara and see how that applies. Obviously, I would prefer to use a colored mascara if I was going out for a night out or going out for dinner rather than going to work, but I'll see what this looks like. I'm interested to just see if it shows up on my eyes. Open up that compact again. And it's interesting. I'm just gonna, I don't know, it kind of feels like it's not really grabbing the product, so I'm gonna like swirl it a little bit, and then there we go. That is much better. So let's see if this will work. It's definitely a smell on the mascara, so now I usually like to do my mascara eyelashes very close to the mirror because I can't actually see properly, so this is a little bit difficult. Oh, there we go. I can flip the mirror up. Got about one coat on, and I can definitely see that most of the product have stayed at the very tip of the mascara, and it is showing up on my eyelashes but quite faint. It's not really doing anything for the rest of my eyelashes, so I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit more product on a wand and kind of like swirl it around. It is a drier consistency compared to the current mascara which I'm using, which is the Bourjois, I think it's the Bourjois Max Glamour mascara in black, and it's a very, very wet formula, whereas this one is definitely drier, so I'm gonna try that. There we go. So I'm definitely not going to show up on camera. It is just barely, I can see the color if I'm really, really close to it. So if I'm speaking to someone and they're literally right here, they can probably see that there's a bit of color on there. It does nicely separate the eyelashes, so it's not clumpy at all, but it also doesn't really do anything in terms of lengthening or volumizing. It's just a kind of basic mascara wand. I can see like the tiniest bit of color, so I don't know whether you would, or I would just maybe use a normal mascara and then kind of go over this on the very top, so you get a little bit of color on top of what you would usually do. Or I would just kind of use this on its own, or maybe just on false eyelashes, I don't know. So I can definitely see just a little bit of color, especially on the very end, but not much anywhere else. I'm gonna try the other eye, see whether that makes a difference. So I'm trying to get, again, just a product on the wand, and then I'm gonna do that. Oh, okay. So for some reason, the color came out really well on the other eye. I can immediately see it. I have no idea why. That is really odd. Maybe it just needed a little bit of getting used to. Okay, that is bizarre. Like, that color definitely came out on this eye, it definitely lengthened, and it barely did anything to the other eye, so I'm just gonna go see if I can go over it again. Okay, that's better. Okay, maybe I just needed to like pump a bit more product on the mascara wand itself. I can definitely see the color. It's quite a light purple, so it's not really defining the eyes, but it is giving it a nice coat of color. I'm not sure if you can kind of see. I'm gonna try to take a close-up and give you an image of what it actually looks like, but that looks pretty cool. It is a very pastel purple, so I think from far away you can't really see the effect, but close up it's kind of really fun. So yeah, for a color mascara and for $8.95, I think that's not too bad. I'm interested to see if the other colored mascaras like a YSL one actually shows up a little bit more vibrant and kind of brings you that va-va-voom feeling of really lengthened volumized mascaras. Lashes. So but in the meantime, I think this is not too bad, and the color does show up on my eyelashes as far as I can see in the mirror, so that's pretty cool. Now I'm gonna move on to the lips, and I have to start off with my lips are really dry right now. They have been for a little while. I've been trying to fix them by putting on a lot of moisturizer. I've got some lip balm on just to make it a little bit more comfortable, but they are quite painful, so it doesn't really matter what sort of lipstick I put on. It does hurt and it feels kind of really kind of crumbly, and it starts peeling after quite a short while. So I'm not going to make too much of a judgment call on this lipstick. I'm just going to see how the color is like, how it applies, whether it kind of feels as comfortable as it could be, and how it lasts kind of throughout the day before kind of forming a firm opinion, because at the moment anything I apply to my lips is really painful. So it doesn't really, it's not the formula, it's not the brand, it's just my lips. So I'm going to open that up, there we go, and just see how it applies. I was actually quite comfortable, so I like to kind of dab and then swipe and then sort of work it into my lips. No, I can see that it's caught onto my lip line and my dry patches and those spots where I've obviously been peeling my lips, so it's quite uncomfortable. But otherwise, it is extremely creamy formula. So this is more of a creamy matte. It's got like the faintest smell to it. Not unpleasant, it's actually quite nice. But I can't really decide what that smell is. And again, it looks to be a much more creamy formula. It is quite pigmented. I can see that it's showing up on camera. And it's just a really nice rosy color. I think this is one of those that would fit in and suit almost every skin tone. I know a lot of times people would probably say that, but I mean, it is a very nice nude. It is, unfortunately, because of the creamy formula, it's caught on a little bit. It hasn't quite smoothed out everything. But as I mentioned, it's about my lips and it's cracking, it is peeling, it's being painful. So with the lip balm on and just going on top, it actually feels quite comfortable. It hasn't hurt. Whereas I know with a little bit of some of the other lipstick formulas, even with the lip balm on, I've put on the lipstick and it did kind of sting a little bit. So I'm quite happy with the fact that it hasn't hurt at all. I like the fact that it is quite comfortable. Obviously, it's a little bit comfortable at the moment. It is quite pigmented, and it's a nice nude color, so that's pretty cool. I'm gonna give props to this formula, and gonna put my glasses on and see what it looks like. So I've just done my hair, put it down. I've checked myself in the mirror to see that I haven't done a completely horrific job of doing the rest of my makeup. So this is pretty much how it likes, how it looks, and I really like it. I think the cream eyeshadows are really nice. They feel really great. It does feel like the Tom Ford formulation, and it dries down much quicker and kind of sets a lot faster than the Tom Ford one. So I'm actually quite happy with those. They feel really nice, and I'm really just excited to see whether they'll last throughout the day and not crease or kind of just slide on my face. So these feel really nice, they look really nice, they're really pigmented, and they've kind of got that metallic sheen which looks really lovely, especially for a night out. So I think really top marks for the cream eyeshadows. Now with the mascara, it's not done a huge lot for my eyelashes. I've got Asian eyelashes, they're kind of short and sumpy, so it hasn't done a lot in terms of volumizing or lengthening. It did lengthen a little bit, but given that it's meant to be a colored mascara and it's meant to impart color on my eyelashes, I think it's done that pretty well. I can actually see the color, and you know, for a fun day out, for just a little bit of a wash, and get someone to do a bit of a double take when they look at your eyes, I think that's really cool. And for $8.95, you can't really beat that. So I'm gonna say that's still quite nice, but probably not the best or my favorite product of the brand. And the lipstick is again quite lovely. It is a lovely color and look really nice. They do catch on my lip line. I'm not quite sure it's a complete matte. It's definitely a lot creamier than that. So to me, and how it applies, how it feels right now, it just kind of feels like a normal lipstick. So I guess it doesn't have that complete glossy shine to it, but it does feel like a normal lipstick. So kind of does not really fulfill what it's meant to be, which is like a matte. But considering that my lipsticks, just having a terrible time with talking today. Given that my lips are feeling quite dry and appealing, I think a creamy lipstick is much better than having a dry matte on there. And I really like the color. I think it's really nice, especially against my skin tone. It's really good for everyday wear, and it feels quite comfortable even with my dry and patched lips. So that's really cool. I haven't seen this brand in the Middle East, and I haven't really seen it in Europe recently. So I'm thinking it's probably quite new. I might see it in London. I think it is an English London-based brand, and I think they have a shop there. So I would be interested to pop in again and see what other products they have and to try a bit more. I think for first impressions, they feel really nice. They're really fun. I think their stores look fantastic, like the packaging and everything, and their whole concept is really amazing. So if you have a chance to go and drop in, I do recommend that you do. Definitely top marks for the cream eyeshadows, and do check out the other products. You might find something that you like, especially given the price point. It's about drugstore to kind of mid-range, so I think you can't really go wrong with that. It's really, really nice. And that's about it. So thank you for watching. Do click like and subscribe down below if you like this video and you would like to see more, and I look forward to showing you more makeup next time. Bye!